Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
All right, back to our D. Back to our D of the PPD hormones, progesterone, pregnenolone, and DHEA. We're talking about the D, DHEA, like pregnenolone, with which it has many similarities and from which it is derived. DHEA is a youth hormone. Unlike pregnenolone, which is benign and gentle, DHEA is a little bit more potent and needs to be respected a little bit more. You need to use DHEA much more carefully than you do pregnenolone. It's because it's so potent, relatively potent. It's still not as potent as estrogen and testosterone. And you can still get it over the counter, but compared to pregnenolone, you just got to respect it more. As we age, our DHEA levels drop, as does our pregnenolone and progesterone. Our PPD levels drop with age, much more significantly than the more powerful hormones, testosterone and estrogen. As we age, our PPD hormones drop. Elderly patients are especially susceptible to the symptoms of DHEA deficiency. And DHEA is a wonderful supplement for folks in a nursing home, or anybody who's getting older, really, but especially elderly folks. Sometimes when I go to nursing homes, and I go periodically, I was just at a nursing home in Santa Cruz a couple weeks ago. Sometimes when I go to nursing homes and I see the frailty and the fragility of these poor folks, I got to wonder, as a healthcare professional and as a nutritionist, how much of that is due simply to nutritional deficiency. This is tragic, folks. If you've ever been in a nursing home, or if you've dealt with elderly folks, and I'm talking in 80s and 90s when I talk elderly, you could see how horrible a condition it is, and considering the fact that very few of them are working with supplements or diet, especially if they're in a nursing home, you got to wonder how much of the misery of the elderly is due to zinc deficiency, or vitamin C deficiency, or protein deficiency, or problems in the digestive system. I got to tell you, I think it's a lot. Just use the Beyond Tangy Tangerine for someone you know or love in a nursing home, or someone you know and love who's becoming forgetful as they get older, or suffering from any of the signs of aging. You got to wonder, right? See what happens. Even something as like chicken soup, like homemade chicken soup, can make a significant difference. As we get older, our steroid hormones, our PPD hormones, like everything else in the body that's good for us, that's important for us, the levels drop. Cortisol goes up. Stress hormone goes up. DHEA goes down. Cortisol goes up, not only because we're getting older, but because of the lousy way we live our lives, particularly around how we eat our food. DHEA, on the other hand, DHEA levels drop. Cortisol goes up, DHEA levels drop, and this has a tremendous effect on the aging body. And many of the classic signs of aging, the thinning bones and the thinning muscles and the forgetfulness and the inflammatory issues and the skin problems and the wrinkles, all of these are associated with elevation in stress hormone and cortisol, and a drop in your youth hormones, your PPD hormones. Pregnenolone and DHEA are building substances. Cortisol, stress hormone, is a breakdown substance. One of the ways the body deals with stress is by breaking down tissue to release energy. So cortisol is a catabolic, or a breakdown hormone. Pregnenolone and DHEA are anabolic. They're building substances. So for osteoporosis, for example, for stress bones, which under ordinary, healthy, youthful circumstances, when the bones get thinner, that triggers a building response. When the bones get stressed, they become stronger when we're healthy. Under conditions of aging, under conditions of the accumulation of cortisol, in combination with a drop in DHEA, osteoporosis hits. Osteoporosis is just a degenerative issue of the bones. It's not a disease. It's just the bones not building up appropriately. We don't need to be medicated for osteoporosis. And that's why, by the way, the drugs they give you from osteoporosis are among the most deadly and toxic in the entire pharmacopoeia, no matter what you hear from Sally Field and other movie stars. No drugs are good. But the bisphosphonates, those are the drugs they give you for osteoporosis, those are awful, 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 awful drugs. If you're on one, I can't think of a more awful drug, although there's a lot that are just as awful. Beta blockers and calcium channel blockers. Why are you taking? If you're on a bisphosphonate for osteoporosis, what's up? It's just because the doctor told you? The bisphosphonates, these drugs that suppress the remodeling, as they call it, of bone, which is where old bone gets broken down and new bone is built up. That's called remodeling. And the remodeling process is suppressed by the bisphosphonates, so it makes it look like your bone's not being degraded, but you end up with weaker bones. There's no drug that can build the body. There's no drug that can build the body, period. Period, period, period. There's no drugs that can make you stronger. There's drugs that can jack you up, maybe. There's drugs that can give you a quick surge of energy by forcing chemicals into your blood or by forcing your body to pump chemicals into the blood, but nobody is better off for drugs. This is why they do this thing called risk management. They tell you, oh, well, we know the statin drugs decrease your risk by heart disease by 2.6%. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. That's the only thing they can tell you, risk management. They can't tell you you're going to get better, no matter what your drugs are. So anyway, under conditions of excessive cortisol, which happen as we get older and stressed out, our bodies break down, in combination with drops in DHEA and pregnenolone, you end up falling apart, pretty much is how it goes. Interestingly, the DHEA and the pregnenolone act to antagonize or balance out the cortisol. All right, we'll finish up when we come back from our break. Okay, so DHEA, love the stuff, along with pregnenolone and progesterone. These are our youth and fertility hormones. DHEA plays a role in just keeping the body healthy and happy. And we were talking before we went to break about these bisphosphonates and osteoporosis. I can always tell when somebody is at risk for osteoporosis by looking at their skin. Wrinkles and osteoporosis go hand in hand, and they usually show up in a specific body type. If you have a lean and mean body type, you're at risk for osteoporosis, and you're at risk for wrinkles as well. And if you're wrinkling, you probably do have osteoporosis because it's the same stuff that's breaking down, the connective tissue, which is why the bisphosphonates are such a silly strategy. If you have osteoporosis and you have wrinkles, and by the way, also heart disease goes hand in hand with these kinds of issues, because when you have osteoporosis and you have wrinkles, you also have a problem with your calcium. And you also have a problem with the connective tissue in your blood vessels. They all work together. Everything works together. This is the lunacy of specialized medicine. And once we nail this down, once we figure this out, that we don't have special health challenges, that we have generic health challenges, no matter what we call them, there's going to be a lot of unemployed specialists, a lot of specialists doing drywall, and that's not a bad thing. Sorry to my specialist friends. DHEA is also really, really important for helping the body process sugar. DHEA helps cells absorb sugar. DHEA helps sensitize insulin, helps reverse insulin resistance, which means it's going to help improve something called metabolic syndrome, which you guys have probably heard of. Metabolic syndrome is a constellation of health challenges, including heart disease and bone problems and weight gain and hypertension and just a whole grab bag full of crappy things that happen to us as we get older. It's all called metabolic syndrome. They used to call it Syndrome X. And it's all related to the fact that our cells stop listening to insulin. We don't work with insulin as effectively. DHEA improves that. DHEA reverses insulin resistance, and this has been recognized for at least 20 years. I first read about it in the 90s. And this should not be unexpected, because DHEA is a youth hormone and a fertility hormone. If you don't need to know all the specific things DHEA does for you, but just know if it's good, DHEA can help. That's basically all you need to know. DHEA is not only important for the blood sugar system via its ability to help stabilize insulin or help the body utilize insulin. DHEA is also important for the blood sugar system because it's an adrenal hormone. It makes the adrenals stronger. Anything that makes the adrenals stronger is going to improve your blood sugar, your insulin resistance, and your body's ability to process blood sugar. Many female health issues that are related to estrogen and the steroid hormones cortisol are associated with the reproductive system. So female health issues will typically, if you go to a gynecologist and you have PMS or you have PCOS or some other female health issue, you're going to probably end up focusing, your specialist is probably going to end up focusing on your ovaries or your uterus, your reproductive system. But perhaps they might want to think about focusing on your adrenal glands. Even better, we can focus on our own adrenal glands. This link between adrenal health and female health issues is very, very underappreciated. If you got adrenal health issues, you are setting you're approaching perimenopause, you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, and you have adrenal health issues, you are setting yourself up for a lousy menopause. That's what a lousy menopause is. It's an adrenal issue. And it should come as no surprise that we have that's par for the course. As women get older, it's par for the course to have hot flashes and insomnia and jitteriness. And for the guys out there, it's miserable. And the only reason I know about it is because I see it all the time, and I work with women all the time. It's awful, and it's so tragically unnecessary. It's an adrenal issue. So what do? You go to the gynecologist, the specialist, and they give you estrogen, which amps up the system even more. You get a smart gynecologist, they'll get you some progesterone because that helps your adrenal glands and it calms your body down. Yes, if you are dealing with a menopausal crisis, or you don't want to be dealing with a menopausal crisis, focus on adrenal health. If you're already into the hot flashes and you're into the insomnia and jitteriness and emotional issues and skin problems, etc., start working with some of these adrenal health strategies, including getting yourself on pregnenolone. I'd be careful about DHEA, but you might want to try that too. Take pregnenolone before you go to bed. Take pregnenolone, 100 milligrams of pregnenolone every day if you're dealing with hot flashes, you're dealing with menopausal symptoms. Now, I'm not saying that's all you need to do. You definitely want to be stabilizing your blood sugar. And, of course, as always, focusing on digestive health. What you don't need to do is go to an endocrinologist or a gynecologist. Sorry to my friends who are endocrinologists and gynecologists. You're irrelevant for the most part. We can do this ourselves. In my opinion, the best way to approach PMS, PCOS, hot flashes, and menopausal symptoms, any kind of female reproductive health issues, is not gynecological. It's physiological. So instead of focusing on gynecology, in my opinion, we want to focus on the health of the body. This is where the triangle of disease becomes so important. Female health issues are about the triangle. The top of the triangle is your adrenal glands, or the adrenal thyroid complex, if you want to throw that in, the thyroid gland. The tip of the triangle is the adrenal thyroid complex, and the bottom of the triangle is the blood sugar system and the digestive system, and that's where you want to focus if you're dealing with any female health issues. It's not about the uterus, it's not about the ovaries, it's about the triangle, as always. There's a really, really awful female health issue we're going to talk about tomorrow called endometriosis. That is a really miserable thing, and as anybody who has it can tell you. And the doctor strategy, hormones and surgery. The bright side strategy, nutritional supplements, and dietary strategies. We'll talk about that tomorrow on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Benny. Published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, quote, some women with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, horrible health challenge that mostly younger women get, women in their fertile years get. Some women with PCOS may have adrenal disorder. Oh yeah, no kidding. A subgroup of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, a leading cause of infertility, may produce excess adrenal hormones. No, that's what they say. I say they do produce excess adrenal hormones. Guaranteed. That supposed subgroup of women, that's called everybody, every woman with polycystic ovarian syndrome. Focus on the adrenal glands. That's from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. Here's another good one. This is from the Public Library of Science. Little to no association between butter consumption and chronic disease or total mortality. Love your butter, people. It's awesome stuff. Selenium and vitamin K and iodine and all-important butyric acid, which is so critical for the health of the intestine. That's butter, and it tastes delicious. You know, sometimes people think that, oh, you can't eat anything, or you know, if you start to get healthy, you gotta avoid all the good stuff. No, butter and salt and broccoli, or butter and salt and Brussels sprouts roasted. Lots of salt, lots of butter. That's the good stuff. You want sweet? Go for some beets. Don't eat too much, though. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Susan in California. Good morning. What's up, Susan? Susan, you there? No? Do we have Susan? Going once? Going twice? I'm going to put you back on hold, Susan. And I don't hear Susan, so I'm going to put her back on hold and go to Denise in California. Welcome to the bright side, Denise.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for your wonderful wealth of information again.
Oh, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the kind words, Denise. What's going on? How can we help you?
Awesome. Well, I want some information so I could share with my friend on depression. She's taken antidepressant and some other pharmaceutical, and I'm really concerned for her. So,
okay, let me give you some ideas here. First of all, when it comes to depression and emotional health issues or mental health or psychological health issues, I'm always a little bit careful about just going the nutrition route and the food route and the dietary route and all the things we talk about here, because there's so much, there's so much to be depressed about, Denise. The world is the world, the way it is. There's good reason to be depressed. So I'm always hesitant to work nutritionally that way. However, that being said, there are wonderful nutrients that can support mental health, and nutritional deficiency can actually make things worse or even induce mental health issues.
Right.
So,
she's not been able to eat for 6 years because of over-radiation and cancer. So she's got a lot of things going on.
So she's just depression of the psychological depression is like the analog of physiologic depression. So in the same way her body is depressed, her immune system is depressed, her energy levels are depressed, her adrenals are probably depressed, her mind is, and her psychology is depressed too, so it's understandable. So let's start turning this thing around. Number one, we got to get the electrical, and this is for everybody out there listening, by the way, and Denise's friend is not alone. You want to amp up the amp up the electrical energy in the body. That's through movement and oxygen. That's the first thing. Okay? Get her on a rebounder, get her doing brisk walks, get her in the gym. Not only will the movement amp up her electrical energy, but it'll turn on her youth and fertility and anabolic hormones, all the things we've been talking about. So making sure that she's moving her body around, that's the first thing to do. Second thing, along with moving her body around, is oxygenating, practicing deep breathing, slow, deep breathing techniques. And in the case of somebody who's depressed, she may want to practice something called the breath of fire, which I use when I'm driving a long distance and I'm falling asleep. And y'all can experiment this yourselves if you want quick energy. Do the breath of fire, which is the opposite of slow, deep breathing. It's quick, shallow breathing, but quick. I'll do. You can't see me doing it here, but maybe you can hear me doing it, and I'll do it right now. Like that. I don't know if you could hear that, but you do quick, shallow breathing, and that perks you up. Now, you don't want to do it a lot chronically throughout the day because you're really jacking up your adrenal hormones, but it's a way to get quick energy. Then from a nutritional standpoint, there's tons she could do. She should definitely be on pregnenolone right away, 100 milligrams. That's not going to give her energy, but it'll help with her adrenal glands. Or maybe DHEA, 10 milligrams a day. The Healthy Start Pack. I would take extra B vitamins, the B100. I'd be practicing caloric restriction, especially if she's eating, which she's the standard American diet. The less she eats, the more energy she'll have, as long as she's getting her nutrients, of course. Juicing's great, but not sugar. Not the sugar stuff. Not the apples and the pears, but the broccoli and the lettuce and the cucumbers. But juicing's awesome. Chicken soup and vegetable soup, for that matter. And I would be taking extra B vitamins, like in a B100 form. You can get that at the health food store, in addition to her Beyond Tangy Tangerine, of course. And then her essential fatty acids, the entire Healthy Start Pack. And then if she's got any digestive health issues, she wants to patch up the gut using the probiotics that we always talk about, the the Ultimate Nightly Essence, as well as fermented foods. And then and elimination diet, food diary, and then the elimination diet. Problem foods will also put a stress on the system.
Okay.
There's so much more you could do, but that's a great start for you. More protein, less sugar is another one. More protein, less bread, pasta, sweets.
Okay.
Okay, take care, Denise. Good to talk to you. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate it. Have a beautiful day. All right, let's see if we get Susan back. Are you there, Susan? Susan. Okay, I'm not sure what Susan. Susan, you might want to call back, and we'll get you first up, okay? Shayla in Arizona, what's going on? How you doing?
How you doing? Good day to you. Thank you.
Good day to you. Thanks for calling.
I am 60 years old, and I've been taking levothyroxine, 75 micrograms, and I've noticed for the past 3 years, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I've noticed in the past 3 years that my teeth have gotten loose.
Yeah.
They're cracking, they're shifting, and I am losing, I went in blank. I'm losing feeling.
You're losing your memory. No, I'm just kidding.
That too. That too.
Now, here's the thing, Shayla. You're experiencing all of the signs of hypothyroidism, which is not unusual for a woman who's 60, It's not unusual for anybody these days, really. Remember, I don't know if you've heard this before, heard the program before, but we have something that we talk about on this program that I've noticed from studying people and watching people and seeing people. I noticed that everybody breaks down the same way with 3 points of breakdown that are prominent under all health challenges. The first point is the digestive system, the second, the blood sugar system, and the third, the adrenal thyroid complex. And then from there, everything else happens. That's where you're at. You're at where everything else happens, including connective tissue breaking down, and that's why your teeth are loose. So hang tight, Shayla, because we're going to take care of everything for you in one fell swoop, or at least 3 fell swoops, when we come back from this commercial break. Thanks for listening. You are on the GCN Genesis Communication Network. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Okay, we are back talking to Shayla in Arizona. Are you there, Shayla? Shayla, let me see, hit the wrong button. Hi, Shayla. So triangle of disease, it underlies everything. So once the thyroid regulates all the cells of the body. It's like a messenger that communicates messages to muscle cells to make a muscle, to connective tissue cells to make them make connective tissue, to heart cells to make it heart, to brain cells to make it brain. All the cells do what they do under the command of thyroid hormone. When when your thyroid's not working correctly, you're not going to make thyroid hormone, and your boneheaded medical representative is going to give you thyroid hormone. The reason that's a boneheaded strategy is because the problem is the thyroid, not the thyroid hormone. You follow me? So they replace the thyroid hormone, supposedly. They don't even do that, because Synthroid is not even really thyroid hormone. FYI. Do you know that, Shayla? It's not even really thyroid hormone.
I didn't know that.
Exactly. So nobody's doing nothing for you, Shayla, but you can do it yourself. Number 1, you work on the digestive system. Thyroid hormone is activated in the digestive system, number 1, and so you can't really turn it on without the intestine working correctly and the probiotics. That's number 1. And number 2, once your thyroid's messed up, then you're going to be constipated and not absorbing your nutrients. Capiche? Make sense?
Yes.
Right? So you got to work on the digestive system first. You should be doing an elimination diet, eliminating problem foods. Get yourself on the nightly essence probiotics. Do 9 of them a day. Eat fermented foods in addition to it. Eat as little as you absolutely 100% have to. That means you don't get to eat like your friends anymore, and you'll be healthier and live longer. So that's the good sign. That's the good news. That means you can't do it. At the age of 60, with all this already happening, you have a very narrow window, with all due respect. So only eat when absolutely necessary. Work on the blood sugar system. More protein, less foods that spike the blood sugar system. And if you don't want to have zero tolerance, at least reduce your intake of those kinds of foods. Start using the Suero V. That's a longevity product that will give you energy. Sueroviv, Suero V. Get letters from folks who can't find it because I don't spell it. Suero is Sueroviv. And start drinking that, maybe half a bottle every hour. You can do a Suero V cleanse where you don't eat, and then you do a half a bottle every hour, and as a fast. Make sure you're practicing your deep breathing techniques. And as I was talking with our last caller, move that body. Get your body moving. That means a rebounder, exercising. You don't need to do a gym. You can run in place, or you can do sitting and standing kinds of exercises while you're watching TV. You can walk up and down the stairs. You want to keep your body moving. You want to stimulate the growth of tissue, and that's where exercise, especially if it's with weights, can really be beneficial for you. A couple other things you might want to consider doing is glucogel caps from Longevity, bone soup, chicken soup with the bones, as well as always take your Beyond Tangy Tangerine or vitamin C with your glucogel caps and your bone soup. And also, of course, goes without saying, to make sure you're getting the Mighty 90 essential nutrients from the Healthy Start Pack. Hope I helped you, Shayla. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it very much, and have yourself a beautiful day, okay? Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, we got Susan back. Susan in California. You there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hey, Susan. I hear you now. What's going on? Okay. How can we help you?
Great. Thank you. I am smelling urine on my breath and in my nose when I breathe.
Are you sure it's... Now, urine doesn't really have a smell. So when you say urine, is it like a fish smell?
No, it smells
ammonia?
like maybe it's a little bit like ammonia, but I'm not... I know
Did it
ammonia is really sharp.
Well, it doesn't have to be exactly like ammonia, but similar to ammonia. When you say urine, I'm not exactly sure what you mean because urine doesn't have a smell, but I know that kind of ammonia type of smell that comes from urine, that could be a condition called trimethylaminuria, which is, they call it fish odor syndrome, I think they call it, where people will sweat and they'll have that kind of smell. And it happens in degrees, so you may have a mild case of it. Did it just start happening, or did you have it all your life, or how does that work?
2 months. About
2 months.
2 months ago.
All right. It sounds to me like, does that sound familiar? Does it smell kind of fishy or ammonia at all? Anything like that?
Well, not fishy, but it's just almost sometimes it has a vanilla smell to me, but it's like too sweet and
Okay.
icky.
Well, are you diabetic at all?
No, I'm not. Low thyroid, and I was listening to you tell that girl about
Okay.
thyroid.
Well,
I am on Synthroid.
Okay, well that's not helping you, as you know. So I'm going to approach this as if it's an issue with trimethylaminuria, which is the ammonia kind of thing, and that's not uncommon. It happens in degrees, and that's a digestive health issue. All right. Now the fact that you have a thyroid problem tells me that's where you want to focus. So this is what I would like you to do. This is what I would suggest you do. Okay, if you can fast for 2 or 3 days, see if the smell goes away or at least starts to diminish. If it does, which it probably will, then you'll know you got some kind of food issue and you want to start working with the digestive system. You want to do the elimination diet where you write down everything you eat and then eliminate foods that cause any kind of digestive health issues, or in your case also exacerbate the smell, exacerbate that odor, and then you're going to be eliminating those foods. The next thing you want to do, because TMAO, the fish odor syndrome, is really caused by a problem with the bacteria that live in the intestine, is you want to start to reestablish the environment in the intestine so it's a conducive home for all those bacteria that live in there, and there's lots of ways to do that. First of all, taking probiotics and making sure you're getting fermented foods.
I do take probiotics, and I take enzymes.
Well, hang on, sweetheart. Probiotics. How much probiotics are you taking?
Well, I take one in the morning with breakfast.
No, that's not even going to touch it. That's not even going to touch it. You need to take, if you go get yourself a nightly essence, take 9 of them a day. Okay? In addition to that, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. In addition to that, start loving fermented food. Get a book called The Art of Fermentation. Has got lots of easy recipes, or just make your own sauerkraut if you like sauerkraut. Or go to a health food store and get it. Make sure it's got the live cultures in it. All right? Okay. And then do lots of vegetable juices. Those will also help. Vegetable juices will help provide a healthy environment for the intestine. You also probably want to start working with, you might want to experiment anyway, working with the ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat, moderate protein, low-sugar diet. And you said I think you said you're a diabetic. That would help you there.
No.
Oh, you're not a diabetic.
Not diabetic.
Okay, then you're not a diabetic. All right, so it's still, treat yourself like a diabetic. How old are you?
67.
Well, you could very easily be a pre-diabetic. In fact, you probably are. So just treat yourself
I have problems with sugar.
There you go. It's unusual. It would be almost impossible for you not to. So get on the sweeties from Youngevity and start doing the restricting your intake of carbohydrates and fast-burning sugars, sweets and fruit juices and desserts and pasta, etc., those kinds of foods, and then up your protein and up your fat, preferably from coconut oil. Wouldn't hurt you to get on the Healthy Start Pack. Focus on the digestive system as well.
I'm on the Healthy Start Pack, and I do coconut oil.
Good. Stay with it. Then focus on the intestines with the elimination diet and the probiotics and the vegetable juice. That's where I would be looking at. Would you call us back and let us know how you're doing? I'd like to know if it helped. Thanks so much for your call, Susan. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see here. Did I lose my phone calls? No. Let's go to Chris in California. Welcome to the Bright Side. Chris, what's up? Chris?
Hello?
Hey, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. Once again, thanks for taking my call. I pretty much wanted to give you an update on what I've been doing before. I was the guy that called before that was just having issues with taking the products and not necessarily feeling, or if anything, the point being was that I was feeling really hungry afterwards, even after taking, the recommended amount. And it turns out I just recently started taking it just yesterday, the Bluefield Belly, the probiotic, and for whatever reason, I don't feel as hungry as I did before. And today, just this morning, I was taking maybe half of the recommended service for my body weight. And I noticed a difference, so I was thinking, I'm going to keep at it, and I'm going to just keep doing that.
That's great.
One thing that I forgot to mention before is when I was born as a C-section, and I was pretty much born that way. So I'm thinking maybe, I don't have necessarily enough gut bacteria to,
You're right on, my friend. You nailed it.
So what can I do then? Because my brothers are also...
A couple things. First of all, let me tell you, I'm going to run out of time here, so let me tell you real quick, all right? If the root beer belly is working for you, the Ultimate Nightly Essence will work much, much, much better for you. Get on that one. Vegetable juices. Make sure you're juicing veggies and doing fermented foods. Get a book called The Art of Fermentation. And then also you want to grind up flax seeds every day and do some flaxseed fiber. And then you might also want to experiment with the ketogenic diet. That's another good one. Apple cider vinegar with all your meals in addition to digestive enzymes. And then look out for foods that cause any digestive distress because they'll kill your bacteria. Also water that's got, most tap water's got antibiotics in it, certainly fish. And meat can have antibiotics in it. So stay away from hidden sources of antibiotics. And if you're on an antibiotic, be really, really careful. In fact, avoid antibiotics unless you absolutely need them. And that's true for everybody, by the way. Avoid antibiotics unless you absolutely 100% need them, which of course sometimes you do. But just to take them if you have acne or you have a cold, that's craziness. And then as far as the hidden sources go, you obviously want to avoid those, Chris. Thanks for that update, though. I appreciate it. Anything else, ma'am?
Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. That's all the time we have for today. I apologize if I left you on hold. Call back tomorrow, tell our call screener we did that, and then we'll get you first up if you call back tomorrow.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.
Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, hawthorn, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Each herb was chosen for their abilities to help improve irregular heartbeats, chest pain, lower cholesterol, as well as normalize blood pressure and clean and strengthen arteries, plus much, much more. Doctors have taken people off of some or all of their pills just because they believe their patients got better while taking Extendovite. Get the dependability of Extendovite. Just see how you feel in 6 months. A 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid is only $69.95 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-877 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from from Youngevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Youngevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
America, what will it take for you to finally recognize that we're facing a major financial problem today? How high does our debt have to go? How far do stock prices have to fall? How many more times must Congress raise the debt ceiling? How many more trillions does the Fed need to print out of thin air? How much bigger must the wealth gap between rich and poor get? How much longer does the Fed need to manipulate interest rates? Wake up, America. The facts are simple. We can't afford our debts, and we can't stop printing or borrowing money. So, we're going to see a massive monetary crisis like nothing in history. Don't believe government officials or mainstream media who tell you everything's okay. Get the facts. Go online to www.defendmymoney3.com. Learn how to protect yourself. Go to www.defendmymoney3.com. That's defendmymoney3.com.